Today, I will tell you the true story of the head of the Vampire of Düsseldorf. At Ripley's Believe It or Not in Wisconsin Dells rests one of the most disturbing artifacts ever displayed to the public: the severed and preserved head of Peter Kürten, the Vampire of Düsseldorf. To the unsuspecting visitor, it may seem like nothing more than a morbid curiosity, but behind the foggy glass of formaldehyde lies a story that never truly ended, not even with the fall of the guillotine on July 2nd, 1931. That morning in Cologne, the executioner raised the blade before an anxious crowd. Kürten, calm, is said to have asked, "After the guillotine falls, will I still be able to hear the blood gushing from my neck for a few seconds? That would be the ultimate pleasure." When the blade dropped, witnesses claimed to hear a strange sound, a crack, followed by a guttural moan that did not seem human. The silence that followed never erased the feeling that something there refused to die. The head was delivered to medical science. Dr. Otto Lehmann, a neurologist, examined the brain for signs of degeneration. In his diary entry of July 12, 1931, he wrote, "I feel watched during the nights. I dream of a half-open mouth whispering, 'Let me drink.' The odor of formaldehyde seeps even into my sleep. I am afraid the brain might still be thinking." Days later, Lehmann was found dead, his throat cut with surgical precision. Officially, it was ruled suicide, yet no scalpel was ever found at the scene. In the years that followed, the head passed through private collections. In 1955, a German maid named Martha Holtz, tasked with cleaning one of these rooms, reported to Hamburg police that the jar shook on its own during the night. Days later, Martha mysteriously fell down the stairs of her home. Her daughter, in a 1962 interview with the Chicago Tribune, claimed her mother had been haunted by dreams of a man with no eyes but sharp, gleaming teeth. When the head finally arrived at Ripley's museum in the 1970s, the phenomena did not cease. On September 14, 1977, visitor Robert Callahan fainted in front of the display case. Before collapsing, he whispered, "Ich bin durstig," I am thirsty. Callahan had never learned German. Doctors diagnosed shock, but he was never able to explain the origin of the phrase. Night watchman Daniel Morris recorded on November 3, 1999, that the inside of the jar was coated with condensation, as if something inside were breathing. He quit his job days later, claiming he heard tapping on the glass, like the beating of a heart. Then came the most unsettling episode. On August 18, 2013, the museum's security cameras recorded for 47 seconds a human figure reflected in the glass of the jar. No one was in the corridor. The footage was archived, but clandestine copies circulate online. Many insist that a translucent face can clearly be seen, its jaw half open. Today, nearly a century after his execution, visitors still report sudden chills, dizziness, and the unnerving sensation of being watched from inside the display. Some claim to hear a faint sucking sound, as though lips were still searching for the metallic taste of blood. The exhibit is presented as a historical curiosity, but staff members avoid being alone in the gallery. One of them, speaking under anonymity, admitted, "I don't know if it's just suggestion, but I'm certain that head is not empty. It feels like a prison, and prisons can be opened." Thus, the head of Peter Kürten is not merely a museum piece. It is a reliquary of horror, a reminder that some evil natures do not fade with death. The blade severed him, the formaldehyde preserved him, but what lived within his mind, that still lingers, breathing behind the glass. And to this day, in whispers, visitors leave the room repeating the same phrase: "The Vampire of Düsseldorf is still thirsty."